My friends, welcome back to the channel. Cheers. Friends, cheers. My friends, cheers. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. Guys, cheers. Thanks for hanging out. Friends, welcome back to the channel. Cheers to you. Today we got a super cool video. This one right here is a Roddy, and it came with the box. This is a non-fired one, and she's a beaut. With the original glass, Hong Kong, British Empire. Check this out. Some huge mantles on it. We'll use them. I'm sure they'll shrink up. I pumped it up last night because I wanted to see how our pressure was overnight, if we lost anything. And we were good. Absolutely good. Put a little bit of fuel in it, because you never really know on these. These were not the cleanest bottom. It does have a little surface going on. The inside of the tank is clean. I did put the camera down in the tank. You guys have seen me do that before. I checked it out. Everything looked great. Only thing I had to do was take the check valve out of this one, clean it. It was tarnished real bad. So I put that in there, and then other than that, she is ready to go. Like I said, this is a non-fired lantern. These were a big hit the 60s, and they kind of started fading off. They have more of an ash flash design to this, because, you know, ash flash was made Hong Kong. Pretty much, I think the ash flash, the Duracamps, the Roddys, I believe these were all made in the same plant. That's the only thing I didn't kind of check, because, you know, when I make my videos, I want to not only just make a video, but I also want to learn. I want to find out the history. And even though I've been a collector for a short period of time, how I learn the best is by taking things apart and putting them back together, kind of looking. I have made some mistakes in the past, especially when dealing with a tank. And before I had a lantern vise, I would just stick the valve upside down in my vise and spin it off. On an ash flash, I did put it all the way down, because, you know, we know how a 200A is, where it's nice and smooth at the top. These have a nut, and when you take the valve off, you're supposed to put a wrench on that nut and then something to take the valve off. Because if you just slide one of these boys in there and you try to spin that valve off, and you don't have anything to support the collar of that nut, it'll just spin the nut right off. especially if it's stuck. You might get lucky and you might do it and it might come right off, but most of the time on those, they were designed to put something there and then take it off to relieve the pressure off the top. They call that, so, you know, where the nut is or where the valve goes in the tank, that top of that they call a bung, B-U-N-G. Weird name, but that's what I see a lot of old timers in the comments and on different forums. That's what they call it. It was a bung. So I'll just use their words because I really didn't know what the name of the, you know, it's a font, but it's just like, okay, it's a top where that piece was soldered in or welded in when they made these tanks. The box, it's taped. There was some price stickers on here, but unfortunately I can't read them. They're just so, they're so old. So this one looks like it says 3622, but I could be wrong. But yeah, you can't really read it. Heat resistant globes on these. It's funny how they put that in there because, you know, Coleman had the Pyrex and, you know, they were heat resistant as well. So to kind of go with that as a heat resistant, well, it's just, in my eye, I'm thinking, well, all the lanterns before had globes and they didn't put heat resistant on them. So maybe that was just a thing they wanted to put on the box as a selling feature. Burns all night long. High luster enamel finish. Double mantle extra light. Burns camping fuel, white gas. They call this a 2-mantle floodlight. Floodlight instead of a lantern, okay? Okay. Manufactured in Hong Kong, British Empire, for the Plymouth Wholesale Distribution Company in New York. Okay, got a little information. Manufactured for Plymouth Wholesale Distributing Company. I don't think there's anything inside. No, but we got the box. We got to be careful with it so we can get some more time out of it. But I figured today we light it up. I was thinking, do I not light it? And since it's not like a mint condition, you know, the paint is kind of, you know, it was put in a box so you could tell that it was kept, but anything over time, you know, it just starts aging and you get a little surface rust, especially if it's in somewhere with a lot of moisture. The vent looks mint, just like how you would find something not fired. Look in the crannies to see if you see any little black, because, you know, can't clean it all. And I'm not seeing nothing. No black. I like to rub my finger across because, as you know, that black stuff when you light something gets all over your fingers. So, and even if you use a microfiber, it will always leave some sort of residue. But no, she's good. Don't know what mantles. Like I said it before. I don't know what mantles are, but we're gonna roll with it. Kind of looks like some kind of old school silk light. Let me bring you around. All right, let's burn these in. They kind of burn like a silk light in a way too. All right, I think we're ready. I'll just leave that I'll just leave my pressure thing in here and I'll replace it with this nice one. But I wanted to check the pressure, so that's why we did that. All right, little crack test. Oh, she's ready. She is ready. It's gonna go quick. Go ahead and heat that up. Still got the valve off. Don't want to put too much fuel. Let it do its thing. Let it die out a little bit. Still got it off. Now we're going to do that quarter turn just to get everything going. Try opening it up. Good on pressure. Globe looks good. We're going to put that down. Sometimes that overburn corrects itself as soon as you start putting the globe and the vent and all that back on. Especially with this design and how they got this tube right here. So, put that on. Now with these nuts, I had a subscriber put in the comments the last couple of videos, you know, don't run it all the way down, you know, and tight. Leave a little bit to it, where you don't ruin the finish on the top. Especially when you have a lantern that is, the arms are supported by the frame here. You don't have to leave it loose, but just be mindful and don't crank on it. She's a good runner. I would definitely compare it to an ash flash for the brightness. Got about, what is it, 2 psi in there? Love the globe, you know, that it came with it. Now I had to pay up for this one. I had to pay up for this one. I gave 20 for it. With I think it was like eight and change, almost $9 in shipping. But I never see one with the globe, and I thought for 28, 29 bucks, let's just round it to 30. For 30 bucks, you can't even get a original globe for 30 bucks. Let alone one that's been unfired in a box. So obviously we'd like to try to get the best deal we can, but at some point you have to know when you have a deal in front of you and you gotta kind of take it. So yeah, at the beginning when I started collecting, I didn't know if things were a good deal or not, and I missed a lot of opportunities. And it's fine, because it's not like, you know, they're gonna run out of lanterns. But, you know, you learn like, oh wow, that was actually a really good deal. I was somewhere and I got a North Star, not the propane but the gas model. And when you go and you find one and you see it, you're like, oh, 40 bucks. I was like, but 40 bucks, that's a steal for that. I passed up one. Fast forward maybe 6 months, I came across another one. I saw it. It was like 45. You know, and it doesn't hurt to shoot an offer, especially on Marketplace. You know, there's a button there to shoot an offer. So I just said, would you take 40? It's just $5 off. And he said, yeah. So I was like, all right, great. And if he didn't take 40, I'd have just gave him the 45. But I guess it don't hurt to ask. Bright lantern. It's cool. I can add this one into my collection. I like it. We will have to address a little bit of the surface rust, but I think for now, she's a beaut. Clark, she's a beaut. Yeah, you can tell it definitely hasn't ran before, because now that we've been running it for a minute, the tubes are kind of changing a little bit color, where before they were just like nice, shiny. Generator definitely is getting some use and some work out of it, so that's pretty cool. It's always fun to get an unfired one. Cheers, my friends. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Quick video, just kind of showcasing this Roddy here. Definitely a cool unit. I'm glad I got it. If you guys got one of these, throw it in the comments. Love to hear. Are these something you see a lot, or is this kind of one of those rarities? You know, let me know. I'm curious. Different parts of the country, these might be like a 220, like, you know, a 220, 228. You see them everywhere. Being that I'm in Michigan, you know, maybe you don't see that many here, but in other places you do. So throw it down in the comments. Let me know. All right, my friends, I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Another one putting on the shelf. Very similar to the Ash Flash, the collar, everything, the cage. So I do have, see if I have a vent I can show you guys off an Ash Flash. More of the avocado, and this is more of like a sea foam. So, yep, different color. This is the Ash Flash here, so yeah, a little bit different shade. A little bit different shade. Alright, my friends, cheers. We'll see you on the next one.